What blocks a person from achieving his goals and desires? Why are you facing over and over the same obstacles? Doesn't matter how hard you try. I know this might be super frustrating, as this was something I was facing myself over and over again, as long as I didn't understand the mechanism behind it. And this is very simple to understand, because this phenomenon is very common and it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. And this phenomenon is called something like individual bottleneck, individual shortage. But what does this mean? You probably heard of the word self-sabotaging. And self-sabotaging is something we use really often, but do you exactly know what happens within you so that you know how to work it out? If you're facing a situation over and over again, you probably have been analyzing the same situation. And what happens if you're analyzing something too much, too often, you kind of develop certain rigid perceiving patterns or behavioral patterns. So the consequences are that you get a very narrow perception. Therefore, you develop mental blockings. And as you probably know, most of the mechanisms have been developing during your childhood or at any certain point in your life where this was a solution for a certain situation. Nothing what your body and your mind was creating was senseless or useless. It was a solution for a certain behavior or for a certain situation in the past. And today it's going to hindering you, and it's super hard to get out of these mechanisms. But how do you overcome this behavior? Your happiness in life, in job, in your relationship is not depending on how much action you take, but it is depending on how you can deal with this mechanism, or it's called the problem trance. If you want to know if there's a situation that causes a certain reaction and trigger, what happened is the following. Your inner reality and what you're saying does not match. For example, if you're always coming too late and you really try hard, you take a bus earlier, you change your watch, whatever you do to be in time, nothing is working. Because you learned a different program. You want to have more control over your life. Being late gives you the feeling of being free and self-determined and living a self-determined life. Whatever you try, you will be late, because what you say, oh, I really try to be in time, but what you think, keeping control over your own life, does not match. The difficult part is that you probably don't know what actually happens. For example, you love to speak in front of an audience and you want to put your message out, but you're facing fear. If people are facing fears, they mostly have no clue what happens with them. A solution might be that you start to be aware of whatever happens to you before you get on stage, for example. Before you have that appointment, before you start talking to a certain person, and you probably always overreacting. Whatever your trigger situation is, whatever your blockings may be, you have to be aware and analyze the situation, what happens before, to understand what are the thoughts in your mind. And this is the key to your solution. At the end, I want to give you quickly some questions from the systemic therapy, and the question may be, how do you know that you're not happy, that you're not satisfied? So try to dive deep into that question. What is coming up when you hear that question? You have to transfer it to the situation you want to work on. And this is something interesting for people who are super successful in business, but they don't feel happy, they don't feel fulfilled. And then you have to ask, why are you not satisfied? And the person may say, okay, I feel like kind of irritated. I feel that I always have to do something. I always have to be active. I don't find my inner peace. I can't calm down. And then we have to figure out, why is it like that? And another question might be, why is it so hard for you to calm down? What do you combine or connect with a feeling of relaxation? And this might sound super harsh to you now. Almost everyone is afraid of mortality. And many people are scared to fall asleep during the night or to calm down because they don't want to, take care of their thoughts and feelings, because what's coming up is super uncomfortable. But this is the only way to personal growth and to make a step further and to overcome obstacles. You have to face the truth. And now, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share it. And see you in one of my next videos.